Hello again from my front porch, bright and sunny as it is. I'm going to go blind looking at it today. I should wear my sunglasses. But it's good to be back home. I actually spent the entire last week down in Alabama. My very first time going to Alabama. It was a good experience overall, and I had a chance to hang out with some good friends. You're going to see more about that in some future episodes that I'm still editing with what we did with that. But I also spent most of that time on a job site down in Alabama, a big one that we're doing some training on. So that was really great. Did get a chance to slip in a little karaoke one night, unexpectedly, but still it was fun. But the point of this episode that I want to do today is something I just have to address. And it's not a pleasant topic. It's the topic of hate. I know it's pretty opposite of pleasant, I know. But you see, the reason I want to address it is because I am hearing hate being expressed on an ever-increasing basis. And I even catch myself using the term. Now, hate, as a word itself, as a concept itself, it seems pretty harsh. It seems pretty extreme. But actually, the term itself does not betray that depth of extremity, if you will. It says, if I can get it so I can see it with the light shining, hate is an intense hostility, no, this is according to Webster's dictionary, I should say, is intense hostility and aversion, usually deriving from fear, anger, or sense of injury. Extreme dislike or disgust. Now, when you think about that, those are concepts which don't seem overly extreme on their own. It says extreme dislike or disgust, but the concepts themselves, the words are like, oh yeah. But the reason that we're comfortable with those is because we've become comfortable living this way. We have become comfortable with hate, which is just, I mean, when you really stop and think about it, it's really kind of depressing. It's really kind of sad. But we become casual about our hate. The hate drives us, and yet I don't see people trying to get away from it. I don't see people trying to resolve it. I see people drawing energy from it. And so let me give you some examples here, just from my own experience. I said I was in Alabama this last week. Well, when I was flying back home, I had to fly through Chicago, and I've flown through Chicago many times now. And originally, when I first started traveling, way back in the 90s, when I was flying for work and stuff, the O'Hare in Chicago was an airport to avoid because it was always disastrous. There was always confusion. Now, in hindsight, I've recognized that part of the reason it was disastrous was because I wasn't giving myself enough time for the layover. I was just accepting when I'd be offered here you can fly in and you got a 45-minute layover until that's a lie, because you land and then you taxi around all over the place till you get to your gate. You can eat up a good 10-15 minutes, and then the next flight is going to start boarding about 30 minutes before its departure time. So if you've got a 45-minute layover, you may have like no time to get to your gate before they start boarding. And so if you're lucky, you'll get there before boarding is done, which is generally about 15 minutes before departure time, before they close the door. And if you're lucky, you'll get there before departure time. You may not have any place to put your bag overhead. You may have to check your bag. But if you don't have it, so if you just have one carry-on, well, then, it's okay. You can just get to your seat, slide in, put it under the seat, whatever. You're good to go. But still, you're out of breath because I also have discovered going from Des Moines to Chicago to anywhere else, I generally am at opposite ends of the airport facility. And so you got to be, so I have learned now in my mature traveling nature to always plan for a longer layover, that it's better to have to sit and relax a little bit at the airport than it is to be scrambling and running and panic that you're, as you're taxiing around and your plane lands going, oh, come on, my plane's going to start boarding anytime soon, to not deal with it. So some of the issues I had in the past probably were because I wasn't actually doing a good job of mapping out my logistics for my traveling that I do better now. But excuse me, for a long time now, I haven't had any trouble with O'Hare. It's been perfect. But this time, I had about 3 hour layover, and that was not. I don't normally plan for that. It's just the way this scenario worked out. And so I got there, and it said that my flight to Des Moines was at this gate in the B concourse. So I went to that gate, and I even got some pizza. And I sat at that gate area there and plugged my phone in and did, and then while I'm there, they said, no, actually this flight's going to depart from the C concourse. Now, if you've ever been to Chicago, you know that getting to the C concourse, that's when you got to go down through the underground that takes you under the tarmac, and you get all the cool lights and things and the walkways and all that stuff. It's a fun experience, but it's quite a little trip to get to the C concourse. So they get to the C, and of course the gate they've put us in is at the far end. So it's get to the C concourse and go all the way down. All right, still got plenty of time, no rush, no big deal. So I sit down there, and I still have plenty of time. So I actually kind of started to take a little cat nap, and not snoring. I hope. I don't know. I was asleep, or resting my eyes. And but anyway, while I'm there, then we get notification that we have been moved again now to the F concourse. Now, I came in on the E concourse, which is like right next to the F concourse. Very easy to go from the E concourse to the F concourse. There's little hallways that connect them. You just whoop right over. But they've sent me to B, and now I've gone to C, and now they're going to send us back to F. And so, all right, fine, still got time. I go over there. I get the F. We're sitting there. I'm sitting there with all of them. And then while we're there, they tell us we have to move gates. We're still in F, but we have to go down several gates. And I'm just like, and I literally said, oh, I hate this. And did I really hate this? Was I bothered by the inconvenience? Yes. Was I annoyed? Yes. But did I hate this? That's a pretty strong word to use for that. But then there are other contexts, like just recently, there was the tragedy of the United Healthcare CEO that got shot, that got assassinated apparently in New York City. Steps out of building, and there's a guy there laying in wait for him, and boom, kills him, shoots him. Now, I have been absolutely shocked. Well, that's not true. I guess I shouldn't say, I'm not as shocked as I would wish I was. But I have been disappointed at the number of people who have expressed zero issue with this man being gunned down in cold blood because he was CEO of a health insurance company. And what I see on social media is, well, United Healthcare denied my claims. United Healthcare denied the claims of my family member. United Healthcare denied the claims of my friends, whatever. And because of that, he was evil and he deserved to die. Really? There are a lot of people that I disagree with. There's some people I disagree with pretty strongly. There's some people I have no respect for whatsoever. There are people that I just think, how do you sleep at night? And yet I would never want to see them get killed. That's unconscionable to me. And so when I sit back and I'm looking at social media and I see so many people not just saying, it's no big deal, but of literally finding pleasure in this, finding joy in this, celebrating this. With one individual I saw, now again, it's one individual, one crackpot, could be a nut job troll trying to stir stuff up, could be whatever. I'm not saying this is indicative of everybody, but I saw one person that literally posted in a discussion about this topic saying that they applauded the gunman and that the authorities should let us know who the gunman is so that we can celebrate the individual and so that others can follow his example. And that if we started treating other healthcare leaders like this, maybe there'd be some changes. Now, I'm sorry, But first of all, no, that's nuts. That is crazy. That is insanity. And I hope nobody watching this actually thinks that makes sense, because that is the textbook example of terrorism. We're going to make you think that this could happen to you. We're gonna bully you into this so that you will do what we want you to do. Then there are other people who they're champions of government-run healthcare, which I got to tell you, that scares the bejesus out of me. The reason I say that is because I cannot think of one single program. There is not one single effort, one single process that the government has run that works well. Oh, there are many that work, but do they work effectively? Are they efficient? Or is there a lot of waste, a lot of fraud, a lot of bureaucracy, a lot of red tape, a lot of hoops you got to jump through? People point their fingers at the private healthcare and say, the problem is the private. Trust me, I do the paperwork for my parents for their Medicare and Medicaid, government programs. And that stuff is so complicated and convoluted. There are people who are eligible to receive stuff. They don't even know that the stuff exists. And even if they do, they can't fill out the paperwork properly to get the stuff because it's so confusing. That's the government-run stuff. And we have people out there actually saying, well, this guy was awful because he was with a private healthcare company, and we'd be so much better off with government-run healthcare. This is, let's just eliminate private healthcare, and then we wouldn't have situations like this. This kind of murder of this individual wouldn't take place if we had government-run healthcare. Yeah, that leaves me scratching my head. I don't get that. That's where somebody exploits a tragedy to try to push their agenda on something, and it's an agenda that doesn't even make any sense. Sorry. But still, we have people saying they're not bothered at all that this man was gunned down on the street because they hate him. They don't even know him. Well, but he was CEO of this insurance company, and I hate the insurance company. Okay. But why does that mean the CEO is someone you hate to the point that you are okay with him being gunned down? Now, I'm sorry, but if you have that kind of mindset, I feel sympathy for you. I feel sorry for you because you've allowed a cancer to eat inside you that has no logic, no sensibility whatsoever. We can take it even farther, take it into the political world. This is one that has bothered me for a long time, the hypocrisy of this statement. I hate Donald Trump. Why? Because he breathes nothing but hatred. Do you actually listen to yourself when you're talking and saying things like that? I hate fill in the blank. It doesn't have to be Donald Trump, but in this case it was. I hate Donald Trump because he breathes nothing but hatred. What are you doing right now? Well, but my hatred is justified. My hatred is noble because he's an evil, bad person. Who says your hatred is noble? Who says yours is justified? Because you believe it? Because it aligns with your belief system? That makes it noble? That makes it okay for you to hate, but somebody else can't hate? It makes no sense. You see, in the definition that I read to you, there was no reference to logic or sensibility. There's no reference even to facts. It is all perception. It is all my bias, my opinion, how it touches my emotions, and then I'm going to react emotionally. And the more emotional I am, the more extreme my emotions will be, the more I am impacted, the more I am inconvenienced, the more I'm annoyed, the more I'm bothered, like my airline experience, the more I am going to move quickly from I am unhappy, I am dissatisfied to I hate this. But the reality is, if we go around saying we hate everything, I hate the traffic, I hate the travel, I hate the politicians, I hate the way the healthcare system works, I hate the way that Hy-Vee now limits the number of items you can take through self-service checkout. Whatever the case, I hate. The only thing that we've done is allow ourselves to be consumed by hate. That's what we've done. And here's the reality check. If you feel hate for something or someone else, they don't know it. In fact, not only are they oblivious to it, but even if they did know about it, there's a good chance they wouldn't even care. You having all that hate inside you for whatever the target and for whatever the cause, you having all that hate inside you literally is that cancer I referenced before. It's that thing that eats you inside, that warps you and twists you inside, that turns you into a hateful person. There are a lot of people I know who throw around the term hate, who I don't consider to be hateful people. But the more they allow themselves to bathe, to soak, to immerse themselves in that mindset, the more that will consume who they are internally. And who you are externally is a reflection of who you are internally. Do you really want to be a hateful person? Or would you prefer to be somebody who tries at the very best to understand and collaborate with others around you? Because you can't do that if you're hating everything you don't like and anyone who disagrees with you. Now, does that mean we can't actually express hate towards something? No, it's a legitimate feeling, a legitimate emotion. But maybe we're a little too cavalier about it. Maybe it's a little too easy for us to say, I hate this, whatever. Maybe we need to stop and really think about that. Is that really what we want to express? Or could it be something maybe not quite that extreme and dramatic, and we save that for situations where it really would apply? Anyway, just my thoughts, my observations. Take it for what it's worth. All right. And with that, I'll let you go, and I'll see y'all next time from my front porch.